I just think leaving off, if we want to jump off this subject, I think leaving everybody with this concept, it's not about, are you good?
Right. And one of my favorite speakers of the entire week, and actually he was on day one in CEO Summit. And so I feel like I started kind of talking a lot and thinking about the other speakers that were more towards the end. But then again, as I was going through my notes, I'm like, no, I remember this guy was absolutely incredible. And it's Will Guidara, who is the author of Unreasonable Hospitality. So listeners, if you don't know his story, it's a great book. I believe it's a great book because I heard the keynote, so I will go read the book. I haven't read it yet. But he owned a restaurant that he took to become the #1 restaurant in the world.
And I'm pretty sure that he took it to #1 as a vegan restaurant in New York City.
I don't know if it was vegan. I
know it was at least
that.
vegetarian.
That's terrible.
But it was either, which I think, but now here's the thing. I think that's even a bigger deal. I mean, you would think in a city like New York City, and that many people and all of the options are out there to take such a, and I'm sorry if it's either vegan or vegetarian. I know that. So it's for him to take something that is such a niche conversation, although that may be a growing demographic, trying to make it the #1 restaurant in the world is impressive, especially coming from a meat eater.
Right. Well, what he says is it was nothing to do with the food. Now, the food was, again, this is a very fancy, high-end, fine dining restaurant. And arguably, you could say the food was some of the best in the world. But he tells a story, first of all, how the first time he was invited to, I forget what it's called. It's the world's 50 best restaurants, I think is the contest. It's not a contest, but you understand what I'm saying. Anyway. And so they get invited to this event. All 50 of them are there. And so you basically are just waiting for your name to be called. And so you don't want to get called first, because if you're called first, you're 50th. So you're like, again, it's a huge honor to be invited there, but you're the worst in the room. And so you want to get called later in the game. And so the first time he was invited there, he was 50th. Literally the first name called out of the gate. And then eventually was named the #1 restaurant in the world. But what he talks about is this mentality of unreasonable hospitality. And as I looked at him as a business owner, as a CEO, and as the leader of his company, it was so clear that his success really, it wasn't about the skill or the craft of the restaurant.